Would request everybody to settle down. We are starting shortly. बुला लूं? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mirza Asad Hussain. On the behalf of organizers, I welcome you all to the 18th BPC Mobile Commerce Conference 2025. For the last 17 years, Total Communications have been arranging this, and this is the 18th year consecutively. Before we start our proceedings, I would like to thank to all of the sponsors for this event, especially BPC as the title sponsor for this year. And I would like to extend our thanks to all of the sponsors. To start the proceedings formally, let's welcome on stage a very seasoned professional from banking industry, Mr. Mohammad Humayun Sajjad, CEO, Mashriq Pakistan. Please give him a big round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everyone. What an incredible privilege it is to stand here today among the amazing people who are shaping the future of banking industry in Pakistan. A common question revolves around the banking industry as to how digital banks will survive and thrive in Pakistan, especially when cash is still the king and banks who are highly successful continue to grow their branch network. Today, I would like to answer this question by drawing a parallel between digital commerce and banking. But first, let me start with an interesting personal story. A family friend of ours living all the way in Melbourne asked my wife for help with the preparations of her son's wedding. The plan was that my wife would buy items from Pakistan and take them to Melbourne on our next visit. Sounds very easy, right? But wait, this is where it gets interesting. When my wife jumped into the adventure searching high and low, snapping photos and comparing prices. But every time she would talk to her, the friend would hop online and search Temu, claiming she found something similar, cheaper, and guess what? With free deliveries and returns to Australia. Isn't that unbelievable? This hilarious back and forth went on for almost 2 weeks. At the end of those 2 weeks, our friend said, you know what? Just leave it. I've ordered most of the stuff from Temu, and that's where my wife had to stop. And I remember there were some, there is this thing called Gajre. Even those were available on Temu that she could order while sitting in Australia. No wonder nowadays the question has become super popular. यार तूने Temu try किया? And when we ask this question, there are two thoughts that come to our mind. First, you might feel like you are bragging, showing off that you are up to date with the latest trends. And second, you might be seeking reassurance that you haven't just trusted a random online shopping experience. As of June 2025, Temu has over 500 million downloads with 300 million monthly active users. And just the first half of this year, they have attracted 1.1 billion monthly visits to their website. And guess what? They've already achieved in their 2 years of operations. First year's sales was $18 billion. Second year, which was 2024, the sale was $70.8 billion. Stories like Temu show how fast digital is transforming our lives and the scale of what's possible. Now, let me take you to 2012, when smartphone penetration in Pakistan was 7%. And by 2018, over 72% of Pakistanis had a mobile phone. The mobile device unlocked access to information, services, and livelihoods. It sparked a culture of immediacy and convenience, laying the foundation of what we all know today as digital. In the same 2012, e-commerce in Pakistan was already in its early stages, with cash on delivery being the only trusted method, and most platforms were basic. It was then Daraz launched one of the country's first serious attempts at digital marketplace. And by 2018, it had doubled its merchant base and helped process more than 100 billion Pakistani rupees in sales. And today, the e-commerce is forecasted to cross 1 trillion Pakistani rupees. And we have started seeing some impact on the budget numbers. And also, let's not forget Food Panda. It was launched in 2015. I believe it has today more than 50,000 restaurants with the famous chains as well. And it has gone far beyond food. It's about instant access, live menus, track deliveries, and loyalty. These platforms did more than just sell. They built trust, shaped habits, and raised expectations. Today, shopping is emotional, algorithm driven, and seamlessly integrated into our screens. Commerce is now content, and attention is the new currency. Digital commerce is no longer a trend, it is a default. Platforms that are winning today understand how people behave in the digital world. Through gamification, turning discounts into delights and rewards into rituals, building loyalty through design, psychology, and repetition. Platforms that feel fun, fast, and personal, that bring people back on their own because people think that it was made to feel that the experience was made for them. This is the new engagement model. It feels like it was made just for you. This same mindset, offering seamless, personalized, and real-time experiences, is now reshaping the financial sector. This is the future. Banks must become platform players, enabling ecosystems, empowering experiences, and redefining how money moves in a digital-first world. But to get there, we need more than ambition. We need fundamentals. We need 4 non-negotiables. Number 1, invest in people. Reskill, upskill, inject fresh blood, but always remember to respect experience. Number 2, enterprise must embrace agile operating model, embedding engineering into business and functions to scale and become resilient. Number 3, adopt cloud-first architecture. There is no second thought about it. And number 4, cybersecurity by design is a must now. Recently, State Bank issued their quarterly statistics. We all love reading about them. As for State Bank, we have more than 92 million bank account holders in the country. But still, we have just over 22 million account holders using digital mobile applications. At Mashriq, we believe Pakistan presents a significant opportunity, and it is the right time to be at the heart of financial services ecosystem. We bring over 5 decades of global experience and a mission to redefine what banking can be in the digital age. We have helped shape digital economies before, And now we are here to help shape Pakistan's. Our goal is not just to modernize digital commerce, but to define the future of banking in Pakistan. To integrate finance where it belongs, in your phone, in your app, in your moment of need. We believe Pakistan is ready today. Together we can write next chapter of this digital revolution. Thank you, everyone. A huge shout out to Faisal and his team. I'm looking forward to an event that promises to deeply insightful and spark action to continue building a better Pakistan together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Humayun. Very inspiring and visionary speech. And with this mindset, I'm sure Mashriq will thrive and go a long way under your leadership in Pakistan, inshallah. Now I request another very experienced banker on stage, Mr. Ali Imran, Deputy CIO, Mizan Bank. Would like to invite him on this stage for his presentation on open banking, catalyst for digital banking. Mr. Ali Imran. Do we have Mr. Ali? Mr. Ali Imran, please give him a big hand.
اگین السلام علیکم. اچھا اس سے پہلے کہ ہم اوپن بینکنگ اور اس پہ بات کریں, ہم تھوڑا سا پیچھے جاتے ہیں اور ایویلویٹ کرتے ہیں کہ کس کس فیزز سے ہم گزر کے اس آج کے دور میں پہنچے ہیں. جب میں نے بیسیکلی وین آئی اسٹارٹیڈ مائی کیریئر تو بیسیکلی فوکس بالکل ڈفرینٹ تھا کہ جی ہم نے بیک اینڈ کو آٹومیٹ کرنا ہے, پروڈکٹس آٹومیٹ کرنی ہے, اور زیادہ تر جو فوکس تھا وہ بیک اینڈ کو آٹومیٹ کرنے کا تھا کہ جی جو بیک آفس کے ہمارا اسٹاف ہے اس کے لیے ہم ایفیشنسی کریٹ کر سکیں. پھر جیسے جیسے ہم آگے بڑھے تو پتہ چلا کہ یار 24/7 بھی ہوتی ہے. جب اس کا کیریئر اسٹارٹ کیا تھا تو 2 بجے HBL کی برانچز بند ہو جاتی تھی. تو اس وقت ہمارے جو بیسیکلی جو جیسے چینج آنی شروع ہوئی تو اس کے ڈرائیورز ڈفرینٹ تھے. وین وی موو فارورڈ تو ہم نے یہ دیکھا کہ جیسے وین آئی اسٹارٹیڈ مائی کیریئر تو کوبول کے پروگرامر ہوتے تھے, RPG کے پروگرامر ہوتے تھے, ورکنگ آن دا مین فریم. پھر ہم نے بہت تیزی سے ٹیکنالوجی کو ایوالو ہوتے دیکھا کہ پتہ چلا کہ یار ابھی کوبول پہ کام کر رہے تھے تو ابھی DBase 3+ آ گیا, فاکس پرو آ گیا, اوریکل آ گیا. اچھا ابھی اس سے فارغ ہی نہیں ہوئے تھے تو آبجیکٹ اورینٹیڈ آ گیا, سوری ایونٹ ڈریون سے تو پھر آبجیکٹ اورینٹیڈ اینڈ سو اینڈ سو فورتھ. اچھا تو بیسیکلی ہو کیا رہا تھا کہ ہر اگلی ٹیکنالوجی پچھلی ٹیکنالوجی کے کچھ شارٹ کمنگس تھیں اس کے پرابلم کو ریزالو کر رہی تھی, رائٹ. کہ کوبول میں سب کچھ ایک ہی آبجیکٹ کوڈ میں ہوتا تھا, اسی میں ڈیٹا بیس ہوتا تھا, پھر یہ اور ہوتے ہوتے ہم این ٹیئر آرکیٹیکچر پہ آئے. تو انیشلی کیا تھا کہ کوئی بزنس پرابلم تھرو ٹیکنالوجی حل نہیں کر پا رہے تھے تو نئی ٹیکنالوجی آتی تھی, وہ پچھلی ٹیکنالوجی کی چیزیں ریزالو کرتی تھی اور پھر کچھ اپنے بھی نئے چیلنجز لے کر آتی تھی. اچھا پھر کیا ہوا کہ ہم اب جس دور میں ہیں تو ایک ڈسرپشن آ گئی. اب ایسا نہیں تھا کہ بزنسز نے کوئی چینج ڈیمانڈ کی تھی, بلکہ کچھ ڈسرپٹیو فیکٹر مارکیٹ میں آ گئے کہ اگر بزنسز نے وہ چیزیں اڈاپٹ نہیں کی تو وہ دل بیکم آبسلیٹ. تو موبائل آ گیا, آرٹیفیشل انٹیلیجنس, آر پی ایس, اور پہلے کیا تھا کہ جی کسٹمر کے لیے بڑا مشکل ہوتا تھا کہ اگر اس نے ایک جگہ بینک اکاؤنٹ کھول لیا ہے تو وہ کسی اور جگہ بینک اکاؤنٹ کھولنا ایک لمبے پروسیس سے گزرنا اس کو پڑتا تھا. اچھا, ہم نے پھر یہ دیکھا کہ جی سوئچنگ کاسٹ جو ہے نا وہ بڑی کم ہو گئی کہ کوئکلی اس نے ابھی اگر آج ایک بینک کے ساتھ کر رہا ہے, اس کے ساتھ اس کو پرابلم ہے تو وہ دوسرے بینک کے ساتھ, تو کمپٹیشن بہت ٹف ہو گیا اور بینک ہیز ٹو رسپونڈ کہ جی اس چیز کو وہ کس طریقے سے ڈیل کریں. تو بینک ہیو ڈن دیئر پارٹ, دے ٹرائی ٹو برج دس گیپ کہ زیادہ رسپانسو ہوں, کسٹمر کی جو نیڈز ہیں اس کو جلدی رسپونڈ کر سکیں. اچھا, ابھی ہم جس چیز سے گزر رہے ہیں کہ اب بالکل جیسے ہمایوں نے کہا کہ جی کلاؤڈ از سم تھنگ از باؤنڈ ٹو ہیپن, کہ اگر آپ کی اسٹریٹجی میں یہ نہیں ہے, یہ تمام چیزیں نہیں ہیں. تو ابھی ہم ریسنٹلی بات کر رہے تھے موبائل ایپ کی, اب ہم فل اسٹیکس کی باتیں کر رہے ہیں, تو یہ ساری ٹرانزیشنز ہم دیکھ رہے ہیں. اچھا, انیشلی یہ بات ہوتی ہے کہ یار یہ چیز آئے گی تو یہ چیز ختم ہو جائے گی, یہ چیز آئے گی تو یہ چیز ختم ہو جائے گی. تو ایکچوئل میں یہ تو ہو رہا ہے کہ ہاں جب کوئی نئی ٹیکنالوجی آ رہی ہے تو پچھلی چیزیں آبسلیٹ ہو رہی ہیں, لیکن نئے جاب رولز کریٹ ہو رہے ہیں. اچھا, اس کو ہم تھوڑا سا کنیکٹ کریں گے اپنی اسٹوری کو کہ جو اوپن بینکنگ سے, کہ ابھی یہ جو ساری ٹرانزیشنز ہیں نا, ان تمام ٹرانزیشنز نے کمپلیمنٹ کیا ہے اور بینکس کو اسکیل کرنے میں ہیلپ آؤٹ کیا ہے. اگر ہم پہلے دیکھیں, جو فیئر ہوتا تھا کہ یار اگر فنڈ ٹرانسفر بالکل ریئل ٹائم ہو گیا ایک بینک سے دوسرے بینک میں تو میرا تو ڈپازٹ نکل جائے گا, کنسیڈریشن ڈفرینٹ ہوتی تھی. لیکن ایکچولی ایسا نہیں ہوا. ایکچولی یہ تب جب اب تمام آپ نے یہ چیزیں اڈاپٹ کی تو اٹ ہیلپ یو ٹو ریٹین یور کسٹمر. آپ کو اس نے ہیلپ کیا اپنا ڈپازٹ بیس بڑھانے میں. اب جیسے سب کو پتہ ہے کہ ڈپازٹ جو ہے کسی بھی بینکس کے لیے سب سے امپورٹنٹ ہوتا ہے. تو اب جیسے میزان بینک میں ہم اکثر اپنے کسٹمر سے پوچھتے ہیں کہ بھائی کیا فیکٹر ہے ایسا جو کہ آپ کو اسٹک کرتا ہے میزان بینک کے ساتھ, تو وہ سب کا ایک ہی میجورٹی کا یہ آنسر ہوتا ہے کہ آپ کی موبائل ایپ, رائٹ. موبائل ایپ ہماری کافی عرصے ایک کنسیڈر دا بیسٹ ریٹڈ ایپ اور کافی جو ہے ہمارا ایک بڑا کسٹمر بیس ہے, اور وہ کسٹمر ریٹینشن میں بھی ہمیں ہیلپ آؤٹ کر رہا ہے. اچھا, بیسیکلی بائی ڈیفینیشن تو آئی تھنک سب کو ہی پتہ ہے کہ اوپن بینکنگ ہے کیا, لیکن اوپن بینکنگ میں آبویسلی آپ جو بینکس کے پاس ڈیٹا ریزائڈ کرتا ہے وہ کسٹمر کے کنسنٹ کے ساتھ آپ کسی تھرڈ پارٹی سے شیئر کرتے ہیں. اچھا, اب جب آپ کسی تھرڈ پارٹی سے شیئر کرتے ہیں تو ابھی اس میں ایک بینکس کے پاس یہ سوال پیدا ہوتا ہے کہ یار اس سے مجھے کیا فائدہ ہے. کسٹمر کا بینیفٹ ہے, ٹھیک ہے, تھرڈ پارٹی کا بینیفٹ ہے, لیکن اس میں میرے لیے کیا ہے. اچھا, اب اس میں کچھ ایکسپیرینسز ہیں. فار ایگزامپل ہم نے کچھ فنٹیکس کے ساتھ کلیبریٹ کیا. پرائما فیسا یہ تھا کہ جی ہم شاید کچھ فنٹیکس کو سپورٹ کر رہے ہیں کہ جی وہ کچھ اپنا کام کر لیں, اس میں کچھ ہمیں بھی بینیفٹ ہو جائے. بٹ اٹ ٹرن آؤٹ کہ جی اس میں تو بینکس کے لیے سب سے زیادہ بینیفٹ ہے. فار ایگزامپل ہم نے ایک فنٹیک کے ساتھ کلیبریٹ کیا, ہبل اس کا نام ہے, وہ بیسیکلی دے اسٹارٹیڈ ایز اے پیمنٹ ایگریگیٹر. اچھا, اس کے بعد انہوں نے فائنینسنگ بھی اسٹارٹ کر دی, اور وہ لکیلی دونوں کام انہوں نے ہمارے ہی ساتھ کیے. تو ابھی تک ہم ان کے 2 سال ہم نے ان کے ساتھ لانچ کیے ہوئے ہو گئے. ابھی تک ہم 40 بلین کی فائنینسنگ ان کے پلیٹ فارم کے تھرو کر چکے ہیں. اور اس میں دا انٹرسٹنگ پارٹ از کہ NPL از آلموسٹ نیگلیجبل. تو اس ایکسپیرینس, ٹھیک ہے, شروع میں اپریہینشن ہوتی ہے کہ یار اگر ہم اس طرف چلے جائیں گے تو اس میں ہمیں کوئی نقصان ہو جائے گا یا یہ اس سے ہماری کوئی چیز کمپرومائز ہو جائے گی. بٹ اٹ ٹرنڈ آؤٹ ان این اپارچونیٹی کہ اس میں ہماری بک سائز بڑا زبردست ہو گیا, اٹس پروفیٹیبل, اور اس سے ہمیں ایک کانفیڈینس یہ ملا کہ ہم اور پلیئرس کے ساتھ بھی کام کریں. تو دیر ادر پلیئرس آر آلسو کمنگ کہ جن کے ساتھ ہم کہیں انوائس فائنینسنگ میں, سپلائی چین فائنینسنگ میں, اس میں کام کر رہے ہیں, اور پروگرس از آئی وڈ سے از ویری انکریجنگ. اچھا, اب اس میں بینکس کو اس میں ماڈل کس طریقے سے ہونا ہے؟ بینکس نے اوبیسلی اس اپنے آپ کو جیسے ابھی میں نے ایک سلائیڈ میں کیا تھا کہ ٹرانسفارم کرنا ہے کہ آپ کا جو انٹیگریشن پلیٹ فارم ہے, انٹیگریشن پلیٹ فارم آپ کا اسٹرانگ ہونا چاہیے, اور جو بیسیکلی کوئکلی آپ کسی بھی پلیئر کے ساتھ آتے ہیں تو انٹیگریٹ کر سکیں. فن ٹیک کے ساتھ ایک چیلنج یہ ہوتا ہے کہ ان کے پاس ٹائم بھی کم ہوتا ہے, اور ان کے پاس اتنی ایکویٹی نہیں ہوتی ہے کہ وہ آپ کے ساتھ کوئی 1 سال یا 2 سال کا پروجیکٹ کر سکیں. اچھا, ہمارا ایکسپیرینس یہ رہا کہ ہم نے سب سے پہلے ایک فون پے کے ساتھ انٹیگریشن کی تھی لانگ ٹائم بیک, ماسٹر کارڈ کے ساتھ. تو اس کے ساتھ ہمیں سب سے بڑا فائدہ یہ ہوا کہ ہماری جو اے پی آئیز تھیں وہ ریڈی ہو گئی, اور ہر اگلی فن ٹیک پہ ہمارا جو آن بورڈنگ ٹائم تھا وہ کم تھا. اس کا فائدہ کیا ہوا کہ اس کے بعد ہم نے پہلے انفیکٹ ایک پروگرام ڈیزائن کر دیا تھا کہ فن ٹیک آن بورڈنگ ان 30 days, بیکاز آر اے پی آئیز آر ریڈی. ہمارا زیادہ ٹائم انفیکٹ اس میں لگتا تھا کہ ہمیں کمرشل نیگوسیشن میں کہ یار کیا ہمارا آپس کا کٹ ہوگا, اور اس کے بعد ود ان 30 days, اب جو لوگ ٹیکنالوجی سے ایسوسیٹیڈ ہیں ان کو پتہ ہے کہ انٹیگریشن, پھر ٹیسٹنگ, اور پھر وہ تمام یوز کیسز رن کرنا, تو اٹ ٹیکس اے لانگ ٹائم. تو ہمارا جو ٹرن اراؤنڈ ٹائم تھا اٹ واز جسٹ 30 days. ان فیکٹ ان دس ہبل کیس اٹ ٹوک اس اراؤنڈ 6 to 8 months ٹو انٹیگریٹ. وہاں پہ ہم پیمنٹ کے سائٹ پہ ہم فن ٹیک سے کولیبریٹ کیا تھا, اس سائٹ پہ ہم نے فائنینسنگ سائٹ پہ کیا. تو اٹ ٹوک اس 6 to 8 months ٹائم. بٹ اس کے بعد کیا ہوا کہ اب ہر اگلی فن ٹیک کی آن بورڈنگ ہمارے لیے جو ٹائم ہے وہ کم ہوتا جا رہا ہے, اور اس کے جو جیسے میں نے کہا کہ جو اپریہینشنز انیشیٹلی تھیں وہ ٹرن آؤٹ ٹو بی کہ جی وہ اس میں تو ہمیں بہت بینیفٹ ہے. لائٹ آ گئی ہے, چلے مناسب بات نہیں کی کچھ. اچھا چلیں ہم سلائڈس کو ابھی تھوڑی سی ہو گیا. اب جیسے ہم نے تھوڑا سا ایولیوشن کا وہ تذکرہ کیا کہ پہلے آپ لمیٹڈ تھے ٹو یور آرگنائزیشن, پھر ایک یہ ہوا کہ پہلے اے ٹی ایم بھی لگتے تھے تو وہ کیا تھا کہ صرف اسی برانچ سے کنیکٹڈ ہوتے تھے. پھر ہم نے یہ دیکھی ایولیوشن کے جی ایک سوئچ آیا, اور پھر کیا ہوا کہ بینکس آپس میں کنیکٹ ہونا شروع ہوئے. تو پھر کیا ہوا کہ وہ صرف بینکنگ انڈسٹری کا تھا. پھر ہم نے گوئنگ فارورڈ یہ دیکھا کہ بینکس بلر ایگریگیٹر آ گئے, بلر ایگریگیٹرز کے ساتھ جو ہے انٹیگریٹ ہونا شروع ہوئے, اور اس کا بینکس کو اس پہ انفیکٹ پورے ایکو سسٹم کو فائدہ ہوا. تو اس کو اگر ہم تھوڑا سا دیکھیں کہ بینک از پارٹ آف ایکو سسٹم, دے آر ناٹ ہول ایکو سسٹم. گریجولی ہم یہ کر رہے ہیں کہ ہم پہلے بینک ٹو بینک بات کرتے تھے, پھر ایک سوئچ کے تھرو تمام بینکس نے ایک دوسرے سے بات کرنا شروع کر دیا. فن ٹیکس آئیں, آپ نے فن ٹیک کے ساتھ کولیبریٹ کر کے سوسائٹی کو کوئی ویلیو ڈیلیور کرنا شروع کی. تو اب نیکسٹ لیپ, لاجیکل لیپ یہی لگتی ہے کہ ہم اوپن بینکنگ کی طرف کریں اور ڈیٹا کو ڈیموکریٹائز کریں. اب اس میں جو ہے فائدہ کیا ہوگا؟ فائدہ آبویسلی اگر مثال کے طور پہ ہبل کے پاس ایک ڈیٹا, کچھ ڈیٹا پوائنٹس ایسے موجود تھے جس سے ہم فائدہ اٹھا کے اس سے کچھ ڈیسیجن میکنگ کوئک کر کے ہم کوئکلی ایک ٹرانزیکشن میں جا سکتے ہیں ویئر وی میک منی, رائٹ. تو وہ آن بورڈنگ کی جو ٹائم ہے وہ کم ہو گیا, اور ہم کوئکلی لینڈ انٹو دا سچویشن کہ جہاں پہ ہم وی آر ڈوئنگ ایکچوئل بزنس, رائٹ. اسی طریقے سے اگر ہم اوپن بینکنگ جتنا اس میں فلرش کرتی ہے تو کیا ہے کہ ہر اینٹیٹی کے پاس, بینک کے پاس, فن ٹیکس کے پاس بڑا ویلیوبل ڈیٹا موجود ہے, اور وہ ڈیٹا موجود ہے جو کہ ڈیسیجننگ کو آپ کے آسان کرتا ہے, جس سے آبویسلی کسٹمر آن بورڈنگ اور کسٹمر کو جو آپ نے ویلیو ڈیلیور کرنی ہے وہ آپ کوئکلی کر سکتے ہیں. اگین یہ کہ جی کیا کیا چیزیں, یہ باتیں میرا خیال ہے ہم چیٹ جی پی ٹی سے بھی معلوم کر سکتے ہیں, لیکن اس میں جو ہم یہ چیز دیکھتے ہیں کہ جب تمام ایکو سسٹم کے پلیئر آپس میں کولیبریٹ کرتے ہیں اور کولیبریٹ کر کے جو ڈیٹا پوائنٹس ہیں وہ ایکسچینج کرتے ہیں تو ٹرانزیکشنز کرنا آسان ہو جاتا ہے. ہبل کی میں ایگزامپل لوں گا کہ ہبل میں جیسے ہمارا بینکس کا ایک چیلنج ہوتا ہے کہ اگر وہ فائنینسنگ سائٹ پہ جاتے ہیں تو ان کے این پی ایلس کھڑے ہوتے ہیں, بیکاز وی آر ڈوئنگ بزنس ود اے ٹرسٹڈ پارٹنر, جس کے جو کسٹمر ہیں وہ اس کے پلیٹ فارم پہ موجود ہیں, اسی پلیٹ فارم پہ وہ ٹرانزیکشن کر رہے ہیں, وہاں انوائس جنریٹ ہو رہی ہے, وہ انوائس اسی پلیٹ فارم سے پے ہو رہی ہے, تو اٹ لیٹس لاٹس آف کریڈیبلٹی. اور اس میں ہماری جتنی بھی ٹرانزیکشنز ہوئیں اس میں زیرو مینول انٹرونشن, آل ڈیجیٹل, اینڈ این پی ایل از آلموسٹ زیرو. تو یعنی اٹس اے کائنڈ آف ون ون سچویشن فار دا اینکر ہو از آن دا پلیٹفارم آف ہبل. دس از بینیفیشل فار ہبل آلسو, ہمیں بھی اس کا کافی فائدہ ہوا. اور اس سے ایک چیز ہمیں کانفیڈنس ملا کہ ہم مزید ایوینیوز کو بھی ایکسپلور کریں. تو سیم گوز فار اوپن بینکنگ کہ اگر ڈیٹا ایکسچینج آسان ہو جائے اور بہت سارے جو پلیئر ہیں وہ بینکس کے ساتھ کولیبریٹ کریں اور ویلیو ڈیلیور کریں, تو آئی تھنک اوور آل اٹ ول کمپلیمنٹ ٹو دا سوسائٹی کہ ہم فائنینشیل انکلوژن میں ایک کیٹلسٹ کے طور پہ ایکٹ کر سکتے ہیں. اچھا, اب اس میں کچھ چیلنجز ہیں. ہم اس میں سب سے بڑا چیلنج تو یہ آتا ہے کہ جب آپ ظاہر ہے ڈیٹا ایکسچینج کرتے ہیں تو ڈیٹا پرائیویسی کا اور سائبر سیکیورٹی کا چیلنج کھڑا ہوتا ہے. دا گڈ پارٹ از کہ بینکس ہیز آلریڈی انویسٹڈ اے لاٹ ان سیکیورٹی, سائبر سیکیورٹی, اور کافی چیلنجز بینکنگ انڈسٹری نے دیکھیں جس کے بعد ان کا سیکیورٹی پوسچر کافی ایک بہتر سینیریو میں ہے. اگر ہم ریگولیٹر کی طرف دیکھیں تو ریگولیٹر از ویری ایکٹیو. ایوری ناؤ اینڈ دین دے آر کمنگ اپ ود نیو ریگولیشنز ٹو پروٹیکٹ کسٹمر ڈیٹا. ایک فار ایگزامپل ابھی 2 سال پہلے اسٹیٹ بینک کا سرکولر 4 آیا تھا. اس سرکولر 4 میں انہوں نے کچھ چیزیں لیٹ ڈاؤن کی تھیں اور بینکس پہ لازم کیا تھا کہ آپ اس کو امپلیمنٹ کریں. تو اس کے امپلیمنٹ کرنے کے بعد جہاں تک ہمارا تعلق ہے ہمارا ڈیجیٹل فراڈ بیکم زیرو, رائٹ. اچھا, وہ یہ سب بینکرز ہیں وہ یہ سمجھتے ہیں کہ جب اسٹیٹ بینک کی طرف سے کوئی چیز آتی ہے تو وہ اس کی کافی سیریسنیس ہوتی ہے اور اسٹیٹ بینک اس پہ فالو اپ بھی بڑے اسٹرانگ کرتا ہے. تو یہ چیلنج آئی تھنک میرا ویو یہ ہے کہ بینکنگ انڈسٹری از ریڈی ٹو ٹیک اپ دس چیلنج. آل وی نیڈ از اے ریگولیٹری فریم ورک, کیونکہ ابھی جو بینکس کام کر رہے ہیں ڈفرینٹ اینٹیز کے ساتھ وہ ظاہر ہے ریگولیشن کو دیکھتے ہوئے اور تمام چیزیں یقیناً کر رہے ہیں, لیکن اس قسم کی ریگولیشن اگر ایک ریگولیٹری فریم ورک آ جاتا ہے تو اٹ ول میک آر جاب ایزی کہ ایک گائیڈ لائنس ہے, ایک فریم ورک ہے, وی جسٹ نیڈ ٹو فالو دس. سو آئی تھنک اوپن بینکنگ از دا نیکسٹ وے فارورڈ. اور ہم جو پچھلی جو لیپس ہیں وی ایز اے انڈسٹری وی ہیو آلریڈی ٹیکن آل دیز لیپس, اور ابھی جو ہمارا بینکنگ سسٹم ہے is pretty decent and mature. So next logical step is open banking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ali Imran Saab. Very informative and detailed presentation. Moving on to the next speaker, I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Umair Ejaz, CEO Raqami Islamic Bank, Raqami Islamic Digital Bank.
السلام علیکم. and thank you for joining us today. I want to begin by drawing your attention not to what's missing from our economy, but who we have yet to fully serve. That's not just the unbanked poor, nor the digital savvy elite, but the vast missing middle, the real engine of Pakistan's economy. The SMEs, women, youth, and freelancers. I would like to thank State Bank of Pakistan for the sustained effort and the broader financial ecosystem's effort for where access to finance has significantly improved in the past decade. But the opportunity is now to go from access to relevance, to build services that meet people where they are and reflect how they live, work, and believe. At RUCMI, we are proud to stand on the shoulders of this progress and push the frontiers forward. Let's take SMEs as an example. They make up for 90% of our economy. They contribute to 40% to GDP and employ 4 out of 5 workers. Yet, less than 6% of them have access to formal finance. It's not because of lack of effort or intent, but traditional models that are built for a different time require collateral, physical visits, and lengthy documentation. They don't always capture the reality of a women-led household, a freelancer who has an ambition, an inconsistent income, or a young entrepreneur with just a mobile phone. There's another critical dimension to address here, and that is trust. Millions of Pakistanis want their financial lives to align with their faith. While many institutions offer Islamic banking solutions, digitally native, Sharia-compliant experiences remain limited in their design and depth. Today's system wasn't built for these diverse, dynamic customer journeys. The credit scoring tools don't reflect informal cash flows. The product framework don't always align with Sharia principles in both form and function. We at RUCMI believe that true inclusion means designing from the ground up for context, for values, and for growth. We are proudly Sharia compliant, not in just terms of product structure, but in how we design for trust, transparency, and shared prosperity. Let me share a few examples with you. For SMEs, we have created a digital working capital line based on sales and suppliers data, not just balance sheets. It's collateral-free, fast, and 100% Sharia compliant, using profit sharing and trade-based models. Our onboarding process is simplified for women and small traders who may not have the usual authentication documentation, but have reputation, transactions, and intent. And we are building a youth financial passport that treats mobile top-ups, digital transactions, and responsible behavior as building blocks for future creditworthiness. Our core tools are not just APIs and integrations. They are empathy for the person behind the account. Design that meets people where they are, not where we wish they were. And data that goes beyond to reveal potential. We do not intend to just digitize banking. We intend to humanize banking, combining while staying rooted in faith and fairness. In the coming years at RUCMI, we intend to launch a complete SME Sharia compliant toolkit, combining payments, financing, digital storefronts, and advisory all in one dashboard. We also intend to introduce Islamic micro-saving products, especially for women-led households. We intend to scale our merchant growth program, which provides financial services alongside business skills and market access. I would like to highlight that the missing middle is not just a burden. It's Pakistan's biggest opportunity. At a time when many banks are rightly focusing on the digital future, We at RUCMI are proud to contribute by serving those building the rail economy from the ground up. It's time we stop asking the underserved Pakistanis to fit into the old systems and start building systems that fit them. That's a RUCMI promise. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू उमर साहब. डिजिटल बैंक्स का दौर है, वक्त की ज़रूरत भी है. इस्लामिक बैंकिंग इज़ ऑन द बूम. सो वी विश, जैसे मशरक़ के लिए नई ख्वाहिशात हैं, वैसे वी विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर ऑपरेशंस इन पाकिस्तान. Next, we have a very exciting panel discussion coming up on from experiment to execution, the role of regulatory sandboxes in digital financial services. For this, I would like to call upon the moderator of this discussion, Mr. Aminur Rahman, Chief Digital Officer, Faisal Bank, to come on stage, and he will invite his panelists. Just a humble request, we are really tight on agenda, so it would be great if you can wrap up the session accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So quite a thought-provoking and intellectually stimulating start to the morning. And we've heard, the conversations from the leading upcoming digital retail banks and the leading conventional Islamic banks in the digital space. So now to take things forward, we'll be moving ahead with a power-packed panel, like we earlier mentioned. So I'd like to call upon the stage industry veterans in the digital space. Arshad Mughal, Country Account Manager, CMA. Arshad, if you're in the hall. I'd like to call upon Faisal Mahmood, Head of Digital Public Infrastructure, Karandaz. Let's encourage our panelists with a small round of applause, please. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Umar Salimullah, CEO and COO, Sadape. He's traveling, he's not here, I'm assuming? Okay. Then we have Raza Mateen, Chief Strategy Officer, eOcean. Then we have representation from the regulator, Ahmed Sumair, Joint Director, Payment Systems Policy and Oversight Department, State Bank of Pakistan. So gentlemen, quite an electrifying panel we have over here, and we'll try and keep it interactive. We'll first have a couple of questions, some popular questions by public demand in terms of the regulatory initiative of the sandbox. We'll then invite and open the floor for some questions on why and the what of the sandbox part of it. So when we talk about digital financial services, we have incumbent players, and then we've got the disruptors, so to speak, the startups and the fintechs. But one of the key business challenges for the startups and the fintechs is the GTM question, the go-to-market platform and the go-to-market strategy, and how can they actually fast-track towards execution. So to foster innovation, facilitate experimentation, and create a faster launchpad, the State Bank of Pakistan has taken a bold and progressive step forward in creating a regulatory sandbox, something which is new to our industry, something new, a new buzzword that we've heard of, but not unheard of in the region and across the digital landscape. So building upon this conversation, we will have our panelists share their expert views on the subject. Ahmed, since you're the face of the regulator, the State Bank of Pakistan, I'd like to start off with you. A basic question that what exactly is this sandbox? What are the primary goals of State Bank of Pakistan? And how will it support the fintech innovation that we are searching for, looking towards in Pakistan?
Thank you, Amin. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for this question. We have recently launched the regulatory sandbox, the guidelines on the regulatory sandbox back in this last month, May 2025. It's not something new. Regulatory sandbox were initially launched by the Financial Conduct Authority in UK in 2016. So they have been there in the market, global market, since 10 years. There have been 50 central banks that have issued their central banks or the countries who have issued regulatory sandboxes. In Pakistan, the regulatory sandbox was issued by SECP in 2019. We have issued this in 2025 from a state bank's platform. But it's not that we have issued it for the first time. It's not there in the market. It's there in the market in one way or the other since the past decade. I remember in 2015, 10 years from now, we got an application from Easy Paisa on the digital lending. So it was one of its own kind. It was a clean loan. It was an instant loan, unprecedented, no collateral, and that application, I was the case officer. So we allowed that product in a pilot phase with a controlled environment and lots of caveats and stuff. So the regulatory sandbox was not available as a single guideline, but it was there in one way or the other. And since the last decade, we have been issuing different pilots, different approvals for different regulated entities, which can be considered as a regulatory sandbox. But the difference is that it was not on a standard, right? Now we have issued the guidelines, but we have been through these testing and trial periods since the past decade. Now, what's new in it? It's a guideline. Everyone has a view of it. First thing, what is our aim? And the general aim from any central bank is to stifle or to improve innovation, facilitation, to encourage the new participants. As of now, we have been approving the proposals from the regulated entities. Now, the new thing is that the participants of this regulatory sandbox would not just be the banks and the regulated entities. So regulated entities, by regulated REs, I mean the banks, the microfinance banks, the payment system operators, the payment service providers, the EMIs, and these are the regulated entities for the state bank. But the regulated entities from the other regulators, like the regulated entities from SECP, the regulated entities from PTA, like the telecom operators, if they want to have an innovative solution, they are welcome. Then the unregulated entities, the non-licensed entities are also welcome, right? So there are many startups which may not be regulated from any regulator. They are also encouraged to pitch their solution, maybe with a bank or without a bank. And there can be entities which are not incorporated in Pakistan. There can be foreign entities who have got their own case studies, success stories outside Pakistan, and they can come and approach us for the regulated sandbox. So the idea is innovation, and the idea is what to do and to test the environment, test your product in a lab test. But one more thing, one important thing, it's not just about it's not just about what to do, it's also about what not to do, right? So we see that certain approvals that we give to the regulated entities, and they go into the market, they do all that expenditure, all that stuff, all that overhead, hiring and things, and then they realize that the solution was not well thought of. Because you see certain variables when you're into the market that were not there into accompanied while you were working on a paper, right? So all those dynamics, it's better not to go into the commercial phase, but to have a regulatory sandbox approach, so that you just apply a limited amount of overhead and the money to test your product, whether it's feasible or not. So commercially viable product, if you want to have, regulated sandbox is for you, and what to do and what not to do. So the regulator is behind you in this. You will have the support of the regulator once your application is approved, and will go along the way. So this is a summarized, I have just summarized what we intend to do in the regulatory sandbox.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, and spoken like a true regulator on the what not to do and the what to do part. So I'd like to move on to Arshad. So Arshad, you once mentioned that CMA is on a mission to modernize the world's payments and financial infrastructure. So do you think that SBP's regulatory sandbox initiative that Ahmed just spoke about, do you think that it can potentially help bridge the gap and act as a nursery for the new payment use cases, especially using the faster payment rails?
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. So absolutely, CMA has a strategic role, and with our implementations in 60 plus countries and 1500 plus banks, we have the experience and knowledge with which we see that this step of regulatory sandbox is conducive for innovation, and it will unleash the creative power within the companies and the industry enablers who are thinking of new scenarios and new business initiatives, be it Islamic financing, Islamic fintech, related to central banking digital currency, digital assets. Any new thing can be tried within this sandbox, and they have the testing ground for testing their business strategies, their marketing strategies, with the facilitation of State Bank, and without fear that when you are going to have a commercial launch, you don't have a policy which either you don't understand or you misinterpret it, and at the time of launch you have surprises, and the regulator is there to explain the existing policies and how your business is aligned with those policies. So I think it's a great initiative, and it will accelerate innovation. It will allow us to test our new ideas, test them at very on a live scale, and then we would be able to launch on a national payment level. Thank you.
Great. So Faisal, when we talk about opportunities, we also have to be mindful of the risks as well. So do you foresee any market risks associated with the regulatory sandbox in terms of achieving the objectives?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. I mean, that's, although I might be seen as a pessimist over here, but yes, that's the fact. Whenever you launch a project, you start something, you also look at the possible areas which could be a cause of failure for it. So we need to, in your question, break down the stakeholders into different categories. To make this regulatory sandbox a success, there are three major stakeholders. The regulators, one. The fintechs who are going to come in and test their systems. And then the partner banks, because fintechs have to be associated with one of the banks to test those pilots out. Let's start with the regulators. One of the major risks that we can have is the capacity of the regulator to run the sandbox. Now, the capacity could be, one, are they technically capable of running such a system? It probably would be a 24/7 system. Are they capable of doing that? Do they have the technical expertise to do that? More than that, do they have the required HR? Because if 3-4 simultaneous models are there and are being tested, there have to be ample people to test it out, to monitor it, to have a look at it. That's one aspect we need to focus on. And then the other aspect is, how did you, so normally for a regulator, is the sandbox approach, is it market driven or the regulator driven? In case of regulator driven, there are thematic areas. How did the regulator come up with that thematic area? How did they identify the problem? What's the approach of doing that? is that really a problem which cannot be solved with the existing regulations? That's one question. Because fintechs in the country are mostly at a nascent stage. Open banking is being introduced, they are coming up, so they will take some time to really understand the impact of what it will have when they go and start competing with the banks to have their partners. That's one area. In case of market-driven, how did the fintech come up with that idea? And that's also the second stakeholder area, which is the fintechs. Is it just that someone came up with a very wonderful technical solution, a eureka moment for, oh, I can do this way, and let's test it out? Or was there actually a problem big enough to be resolved? Is it just 2% of the customers, or is it a major area? And then the fintechs also need to understand what is the plan when they go and enter into a sandbox. Is it just that they have to go and test a product, or is there a pilot to scale strategy there? Let's say they're successful. What then? How do they scale? What are the finances required to scale it out? When is the return on whatever investment they are making, when is that going to happen? Do they have the funds, sufficient funds for that long time? That's one. Sorry. And then let's say it's not working as they plan to make it work. Is there an exit strategy to it? What time do the fintechs exit? That's also very important. Because if you just keep on trying and one day you see, oh, nothing's happening, let's just stop it. So there has to be a proper strategy to it. And then the partner banks that are working with that fintech, how open are they? What kind of customers do they have? Let's say a bank which has a very low penetration of digital channels. If you partner with that bank, what do you think? The customers of that bank, how likely are they going to start using that particular product? Last and the biggest challenge, how do the regulators coordinate? One simple example is we have been having a lot of discussions on the e-commerce players, the escrow for e-commerce. Now, if you want to test it out, who regulates that? It's not solely the area of State Bank of Pakistan. It's not 100% SECP. Is it the Ministry of Commerce? Is it the Ministry of IT, PTA? So the regulators also need to coordinate. If they don't, who knows, whatever they're trying to achieve from that testing, it might be not as useful as they expected. So these are some of the things we do need to look at when we get into operationalizing a regulatory sandbox. That's my idea on it.
So interesting perspective, Faisal. So, earlier in the morning I was having a conversation with Jahan Ara, and, we agreed on one thing from the perspective that the startups, the fintechs, they need a platform for the execution, for them to see the light of the day, for them to actually see the ideas through beyond the incubation stage. You absolutely mentioned correctly. At the banks or the ecosystem players, rather, the financial institutions, they need to connect with them.
Yes.
So, it reminds me of a saying that if you go alone, you can go a certain distance.
Yeah.
But if you go together, you can go further. So, Raza, continuing from where the conversation is heading, so when we talk about innovation in the space of financial services and products, how can you create that fine balance between risk management and innovation, and not overstepping into, that direction which the negatives which Faisal mentioned, that, overprudence, that over-regulation doesn't kill or stifle that creativity. So how do you create that fine balance?
So thank you. I'll answer that question, but also sort of deviate a little bit. I want to sort of echo what Faisal said. I think solid critique, and I think every development needs to be seen with a little bit of nuance. As far as striking the balance between innovation and over-regulation, I think it's a difficult thing to do. If you ask most people in the industry, they'd say the less regulation, the better. If you speak to the regulator, obviously they're looking at it from a slightly more conservative lens. They want to carry out their custodial duties with respect to protecting consumers and businesses and the financial system. But I think what's required is a certain understanding of what is acceptable risk. And that seems to be missing out of our ecosystem. Even with this context, and I think it's a great initiative that we've got a regulatory sandbox today, I think a lot of our challenges are rooted in the fact that we do these one-off initiatives, but we're not really solving the larger problem. The larger problem that we see in Pakistan today is it's not our ability to innovate, it's our ability to innovate quickly and bring these ideas to market. Whilst I think the sandbox solves one part of that problem, there really needs to be a faster route to market, because the landscape is littered with great ideas and businesses that could have been, but never saw the light of day because they were unable to either complete their licensing regime or the prerequisites, or even get to that stage where they could even be considered for licensing because there's such a large queue. So whilst the sandbox may provide some quick validation for a solution or an idea, it doesn't really solve for the fact, how do you get it to market quickly? Because as soon as you exit the sandbox, what next? Unless it's paired with some sort of accelerated licensing scheme or a fast-track mechanism, you're pretty much exactly where you started with, except now you know you've got maybe a good idea, but still not going anywhere. To your earlier part about how you manage regulation versus innovation, I think it's something that the ecosystem has to solve together. I don't think it's the sole responsibility of the state bank. I don't think it's the responsibility of the banks. I think we need to start talking and understand that when we do work, and I think we saw that earlier in the day with the presentations from Ali and others, that there's a tremendous opportunity to be unlocked when we do start actually working together with at least some sort of understanding around shared risk and shared reward. But that direction maybe needs to come from the regulator, but I don't think they carry that burden. Thank you.
Interesting perspective. So, we can call the sandbox more like a grad school for startups and fintechs. So, Ahmed, coming towards the regulatory perspective, we've heard our colleagues over here talk about the risks associated with, or rather I wouldn't say the pitfalls, but the cornerstones getting into the sandbox, and once actually these new players coming into the sandbox, the exit strategy in terms of hitting the market, and in terms of creating an engagement model while they're in the sandbox. So how do you foresee that the ecosystem players, will this sandbox only be giving them a platform to actually co-create, or actually also handhold them towards the execution stage as well? What's the thought around that?
Yeah, for the sandbox, see, the idea is that the fintechs or even the banks would approach State Bank with their proposed solution for this regulatory sandbox. The State Bank, there will be an innovation hub that would assess and conduct a preliminary assessment of those products and those applications, and then we would aggregate them, and then we would present them to the regulatory sandbox committee, which is headed by the Deputy Governor State Bank. And that committee would decide whom to approve, which solutions make sense, or maybe they're top of the line amongst all the participants. So that would approve that. So the regulatory sandbox, I would suggest you all to go through, if you have not gone through the guidelines. And it mentions a time series. So it's time bound. It's not that you applied and then we forgot or you forgot. So there's 30 days time for assessment, then 60 days time for the next phase, and then 180 days time for the actual pilot run, and then the post-pilot formalities. And during all these phases, the information that needs to be submitted to the regulators for us to better understand, and for you to better understand your solution. As I said earlier, that it's not that everything that you have written on the paper and you have done the desk work and the research work and your own intellect and understanding would be 100% true when you go into the market. You don't learn to swim while you are in the deep waters. You learn to swim when you are in the shallow waters, right? So regulatory sandbox provide you the shallow waters to make you understand how swimming is done. And we as a regulator, we would also be learning, right? We as an industry, we would be learning, right? This is something new for us, for every one of us, and we would be learning. Yes, there would be risks, So the non-eligibility criteria, if you read those guidelines, is that if your solution is not in adherence to the laws of the land or the regulation of State Bank, that's a discouraging factor, or that would not allow your application to be approved. And if there are any AML or terrorist financing risks associated with that, so that would also make you inaccessible and things like that. So risks would be there. There would be solutions, of course, that would appear to be very good, but inherently they would be having something. So either they are eradicated into the assessment phase first, but even if they are gone through, then once you are in the market and you have completed the pilot, then the assessment, the final assessment phase, if you want to allow them to the commercial operations. So what would happen after, as Raza said, that what would happen after this pilot has been completed? So either we would issue you no objection certificate, as the guidelines say, that an NOC would be issued, or if your product was something that was not under any regulation, we might issue new regulations, or we might amend those regulations, the existing regulations, to account for this novel idea of what was approached to us. Or we can license you, we can guide you, or we can license you as an EMI if you want to be, license you as a PSO, PSP if you want to be. So the traditional method of licensing a PSO, PSP and an EMI is to go through the in-principle approval phase and the pilot phase and then the commercial operations. So we can eliminate those phases because you have already tested your product into the regulatory sandbox. So the conventional 2 steps of being into the commercial phase would be eliminated, right? So you would be doing that pilot phase within the regulatory sandbox. So the requirement of the pilot and in-principle approval phases would not be required anymore. So this is something that would be facilitating, and time to market would be maybe minimized.
Thanks. So I'd like to carry forward the same question, Arshad. I'll pass the ball on to you in terms of, we all know about State Bank's Vision 2028, the digital agenda. So how do you see it tying in and aligning this regulatory sandbox? How is it tied in terms of achieving the objectives or moving towards that grand or greater vision of digital Pakistan?
Well, I am an optimist, and I believe if the mood at SBP has changed from you can't do anything until there is a policy to you can do anything until the policy doesn't block you, it should be appreciated. So having past 6 years experience working with SBP, implementing RAST myself, and recently RTGS Plus and Central Securities Repository, I do know that you need to have a lot of patience, understanding, resilience, and long-term commitment to work with any regulator anywhere else in the world. So the mood has changed. The industry should take this opportunity to collaborate more with the regulator. They are opening their doors for you. So I would like to see people taking this opportunity to have more discussions, discuss their ideas according to the vision that you have mentioned. For me, even if a 5% progress is made, I will take that as a success or having no success from it. So it is aligned with the vision, and it's not just aligned with State Bank's vision, it's aligned with Pakistan's vision from the government from Uran, Pakistan. We would be having cross-border payments. We are planning central banking digital currencies, digital assets, and Islamic financing. And I would like industry to focus on one idea. I can't do it alone. Our youth is waiting for us to do something in the crypto space. So we are not currently allowing, like my son yesterday wanted to invest $100 in crypto, but there is no legal space here, and the way it turned out that it was showing a RAS payments on Binance, and when we tried that, someone got that money and it's gone. So our youth is waiting for us, and this is the right platform. We should enable them to invest wisely, and we should give them the platform to have a more and more interaction with the investments and growing wealth. So this is, I think this is all aligned with the vision that SBP has for financial inclusion, and it will surely help all of us, industry and the community, to find businesses, solutions that have maximum impact on the community, and the people feel the real change, just like RAS. So initially when RAS was started, even I was not recognized within my family. Now everyone who knows that I implemented RAS, they are thanking me. So that's how we should think. And visions are made to be chased, and whatever we can achieve is good for me.
Well, thanks, Arshad. Good point on the digital currency and the crypto part. So, Faisal, if you're there in the room, so maybe one of these days we could have a discussion on the digital future, digital currency, and crypto in Pakistan and the future. And Ahmed, I think the regulator's perspective is more and most sought after in that direction. So maybe that's a topic for another day. So we'll move on to the last question, because I want to open up the floor if there are any questions on the sandbox and how to proceed further. So I'll put across this question, Faisal, to you, that that from the Karandaz platform that we know in general, and specifically you've been working very closely with the regulator, especially in terms of faster payments and implementation of RAS, etc. So the question is that from the SBP perspective, in terms of the design, development, deployment of faster payment rails, what role do you think such ecosystem partners like yourself, Karandaz, can play in making this sandbox a success?
Right, thank you. Here's the optimist part now. Okay.
Looking forward to that.
So, first of all, when Ahmed mentioned that they're going to call in proposals from the industry, that's the first right step, because that's a market-led approach to testing models. But what we can do, and then there are other entities as well, like Jahara is sitting here, there are other entities as well who are working with the fintechs. I think we need to create awareness and educate. The regulator, we might need to do workshops with the regulator to tell them what the industry is thinking, what are the problems that the industry actually has. And then we also need to help build models on how to identify the actual problems out there which cannot be covered in the current regulations. Because my experience is most of the problems that fintechs come forward with could be covered in one or two regulations. You might have to do a mix and match, but it could be done. So we really need to educate the regulator on opening up their approach, inviting innovation, and just like Ahmed said, and Raza also said, that based on whatever models come in, new regulations might have to be developed. On the fintech side, I think the education has to be on how to identify a problem, and more importantly, how to identify the impact which could be solved by resolving that problem. Which could be achieved by resolving that problem. To do that, we really need to educate fintechs who want to come in, that how do you identify the problem, how do you start testing it, and what's your exit strategy, how do you plan it out. And let's say you are successful and the model is very good, then we also need to help them raise funds to sustain the operations for a few years. So I think the likes of the non-profit entities who are out there, even the for-profit entities, it's to educate both the areas and help them identify what real issues are, what is the world doing, and how can we implement that. Research and development is something that entities like us can take up, but the fintechs probably, I mean, they don't have the budgets at this moment. So that's what I think we can help the industry with.
Interesting. So, Raza, any parting thoughts on the same topic?
Yeah, final thought and also a request for the regulator, I guess. I think if we talk about the ability for fintechs to go from idea to execution to scale, I think if you speak to the vast majority of them, the greatest delay and challenge comes in finding willing partners who are regulated entities who are sitting within the banking system today. Discovery, commercial negotiations, getting that partnership off the ground, those compliances, etc. If the regulator could, within the sandbox, have willing participants ready with some form of not only just commercial readiness, but buy-in to the idea that they want to integrate and facilitate these, I think you'd go a long way in making sure that the speed at which and the effectiveness of the sandbox is increased significantly. So just putting that out.
Spot on in terms of saying that there needs to be ecosystem partners handholding the entire process. So before we close the panel, Ahmed, any views on what Raza and Faisal have mentioned?
Yeah, thank you, Raza, for this suggestion. We also see from the regulatory perspective that there are banks who are very aspirant to be digital and to go digital, and there are some banks who are happy with what they are doing. So that's a good suggestion that from the regulatory sandbox approach, we can find those or pick and choose those aspiring banks who are there to innovate and who want partners like non-regulated fintechs or non-bank fintechs to synergize. Actually, this platform also allows you to have synergies between the regulated and non-regulated entities, or between two regulated entities, right? So that's a suggestion well taken. Thank you.
So being cognizant of the time, so we're right there on top of the clock. So if there are any questions, maybe you can take one or two, or maybe you can connect with the panelists during the tea break. If you have any questions, otherwise we can move towards the next slot. We got one question over there at the back. If you could please pass on the mic. Could you turn the mic on, please? Ji.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Suhail from Axis Group. My question is, basically I'm not from the fintech background per se, but I've seen advertisement technology move from like different ecosystems and different phases. There was a time when that industry was also...
Sorry, could you speak a bit louder, please?
When that industry was also very archaic and slow and all that. So my question is towards like, let's say Ahmed here, about how well is the sandbox designed, whether it has the real-time aspect to it and whatnot, because if you're all living in a black box, then we will like just move towards that. But if you want to come out of that black box, we need to aim for that. So the success of all of us and all of us working towards where we need to be is going to be encapsulated by whether the sandbox is designed to get to, let's say, 21st century and 2025. So I just wanted to know that.
Ahmed, you
if you are asking me how well is this regulated sandbox designed, what answer can you expect from me? So I hope you have studied that very well. If you have got any suggestions, we are there to listen to them. To the best of our ability and skills, we have designed that. We have got consultations with the market players, the banks, microfinance banks, the fintechs, and their input was there. And it took us a lot of time. It's not just that we sat and we prepared that. It's been a journey for quite some years that we have been working on the regulatory sandbox, and it's finally issued. So let's see now that was on the papers. Now it's a time for practical implementation, and things would be there.
Yeah, so the sandbox is not a black box, rather it's a playpen with immense potential and possibilities. So with that, we'll close the panel, being cognizant of the time like I mentioned, and the audience can connect with the panelists during the tea time and the lunch break. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you to all our panelists. Very insightful discussion. And thank you, Amin Saab, for the wonderful moderation. Moving on. Now I would like to request our respected chief guest, CEO TD app, Mr. Faiz Ahmed, to join on the stage and share some few words with us. So, Mr. Faiz Ahmed, please give him a big round of applause. अगर तालियों में थोड़ी जान हो जाएगी तो अच्छा लगेगा. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. It's a privilege to address this prestigious 18th International Conference on Mobile Commerce. Let me begin by thanking Total Communications, the State Bank of Pakistan, Ministry of IT and Telecommunications, and are all digital ecosystem leaders for building and sustaining this vital platform since year 2008. Let's be clear, mobile commerce is no longer optional. It's foundational. And in Pakistan, it is fast becoming the great equalizer. Thanks to the fintech industry leaders, the earliest like Jazz, Cash and Easy Paisa, the once unbanked and underbanked now have financial power in their wallets, in their pockets. Small vendors and businesses, and including the women business leaders, are finally connected to formal systems, making transactions with confidence, speed, and security. Ladies and gentlemen, and now platforms like Draz are taking this even further. Through digital onboarding, secure payment tools, and nationwide fulfillment, Draz is enabling vendors in even the remotest corners of the country to participate in digital economy. This is not just innovation. It's digital inclusion in action. But we are not stopping here. At the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, we are building the trade portal of the future, an intelligent, integrated gate for Pakistani exporters. And I am proud to share that we are partnering with Alibaba. Not only Alibaba, we will be partnering with our own national eco-commerce leaders also. But we will be partnering with Alibaba in the next week. It is one of the two global e-commerce giants, as you know, alongside Amazon, to revolutionize how Pakistani products are discovered, sold, and shipped across borders. Our vision is to create a single unified digital supply chain ecosystem supported by secure and real-time digital payment solutions. Let me break this down practically. Today, many financial systems in Pakistan operate in isolation or in semi-integration, like the panelists were pointing out. Wallets and payment systems often cannot communicate or transfer funds efficiently. This slows down commerce and discourages participation, especially from small or remote sellers. But we are working to change that. We are advocating for open architecture so that licensed fintechs, telcos, banks, and platforms can connect seamlessly, efficiently. We support the adoption of standardized application programming interfaces to ensure compatibility and smooth exchange between those who wants to jump upon the vanguard or who are, as my friend from State Bank of Pakistan, he pointed out that some are still relaxing with the business as usual. We are pushing them for smart enabling regulation, one that promotes competition while safeguarding users. And most importantly, we are building on the backbone of Pakistan's most transformative financial infrastructure to date. As the Mughal Sahib was pointing, the architect RAST. RAST, the real-time gross settlement system developed by the State Bank of Pakistan, is a game changer. It is already enabling instant, secure, and zero-cost payment between individuals and institutions. But its true potential lies ahead as the core digital rail that can unify all wallets, banks, e-commerce platforms, and export transactions across the country and across the borders also. Imagine a small business in Skardu receives a bulk order from Alibaba. The payment arrives instantly into their mobile wallet via RAST. That same wallet is used to pay a supplier in Karachi. On the RAST, inventory is shipped, tracked, and restocked. Without cash, without banks, without barriers. That is the power of digital commerce. That is the vision we are materializing right now. RAST makes this vision not only possible, but practical and scalable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not theoretical, it is actionable. And this is the future we are building with your support. But this transformation demands collaboration. And for that, today, the yearly event of organized by Total Communication and sponsored by the leaders of the sector. This is the real contribution for future of Pakistan's development. This event will take regulators, fintechs, telcos, logistic players, exporters, banks and government bodies all aligned, all integrated, and all working with shared purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, TDAP and the Ministry of Commerce are fully committed to driving this digital shift, not just a policy priority, but as a national imperative. Let us join hands to build a connected, competitive and inclusive Pakistan where digital commerce is bridge to prosperity for every citizen everywhere. Thank you once again for giving this opportunity. Before I close, I would like to take this opportunity to extend a special invitation to the key players shaping our digital financial future. Those leading RAST, the major digital cash platforms, our telecom innovators, and the senior leadership of the State Bank of Pakistan. We would be honored to have you join us at the upcoming Globe Pakistan Summit being organized by TDAP on the 10th of July in Islamabad. This landmark event is designed to showcase the entire e-commerce ecosystem under one roof, with a special emphasis on regional connectivity and robust diplomatic participation. It will be a space to demonstrate leadership, foster collaboration, and align national innovation with global connectivity. We look forward to your presence and your partnership in making this vision a reality. Thank you very much. I must congratulate Total Communication for once again hosting the annual event as a big success. And now the time has reached. Earlier, it was the pull from the private sector. Now, the time has reached when the government push is there. We are, from the government side, we will be discouraging the cash economy and incentivizing, making compulsory for cashless economy in 2 to 3 years. And the State Bank of Pakistan vision of Digital Pakistan 2028, all roads are leading to that vision. RAST is there, you are there, international connectivity is there, and I am very optimistic that Pakistan future is in digital economy. And for this, you all are the leaders, and you all are taking Pakistan to the next level of development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Very visionary speech. And moving on towards the memento distribution. This is a very important segment, as all of you know that no event is possible without the sponsors. और इस सेगमेंट में जो हमारी ऑडियंस बैठी है, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन इफ़ अगर वो ज़रा इंतुजियाज़म दिखा दें, अच्छी तालियां बजा दें स्पॉन्सर्स के लिए, तो ज़रा एक महफिल में जोश आ जाएगा. थैंक यू. सो first and foremost, title sponsor BPC. Can I request Mr. Farooq Ali Beg to come on stage and receive his memento? Please give him a big hand, Mr. Farooq Ali Beg. Moving on to platinum sponsors. Bank Al-Falah, can we request Mr. Faisal Rauf from Bank Al-Falah to come on stage? Mr. Faisal Rauf. Mr. Shehzad Shahid from TPS. Mr. Shehzad Shahid from TPS. Anyone else who can receive the memento on his behalf, please? Taliyan. Mr. Faisal Amin from Euronet. Mr. Faisal Amin from Euronet. Do we have Mr. Faisal Amin? And if not, if somebody else can come and receive the memento on his behalf, please. I think we have someone. From Euronet. Mr. Umair Ijaz from Rakami Islamic Bank. Now to the gold sponsors. Miss Mariam Parvez from Abhi Microfinance Bank. Miss Mariam Parvez. Can anyone else come on the stage on behalf of Abhi Microfinance Bank? Okay, moving on to the next gold sponsor, which is CMA, Mr. Arshad Mughal from CMA. Mr. Arshad Mughal. Please give him a big round of applause. Now to our silver sponsors, Mr. Muhammad Ashraf from Rayan Co. Mr. Muhammad Ashraf from Rayan Co. And if Mr. Muhammad Ashraf is not here, can anybody else from Rayan Co. come and receive the memento? So we have someone who's coming. Mr. Rafi Ahmed from Convex Interactive. Mr. Rafi Ahmed from Convex Interactive, and if yes, we have Mr. Rafi. Mr. Asif Jafri from E-Ocean. Mr. Asif Jafri from E-Ocean. Now to our financial inclusion partner, Switch, Miss Mariam Imran from Switch. Big round of applause for Miss Mariam Imran, please. वैसे तो सारे स्पॉन्सर्स ही बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, लेकिन मुझे लगता है दिस वन इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्पॉन्सर, लंच स्पॉन्सर, एक्सेस ग्रुप एंड कोवलेंट, मिस्टर नुसरत खान. Do we have Mr. Nusrat Khan? If not, can we have Mr. Nusrat, I guess? Yeah. एक और very important sponsor, tea and communication sponsor, Intellectual Solutions, Mr. Ammar Ghaffar. Please come on the stage and receive your memento. My apologies, there was one more name in silver sponsor, Pay Fast, Miss Mavish Saad. Could you come on stage and receive the memento, please? And if not, can anybody else from Pay Fast can come and receive the memento? All right, now I would like to request Mr. Faisal Rahim to present memento to Mr. Faiz Ahmed for his presence. Really thankful to Faiz Ahmed Saab for making time and gracing your time to this mobile conference. और क्योंकि ऑडियंस में एनर्जी इतनी डाउन है कि तालियां बिल्कुल नहीं बज रही हैं, so I think it's the right time for the tea break. There will be a 15 minutes tea break and we request you to come back right after 15 minutes and we'll continue our program. Thank you.
Customers want updates instantly, whether it's a fund transfer, OTP verification, or an ATM withdrawal. These notifications aren't just helpful, they're expected. For businesses, getting these alerts to your customers cost-effectively is critical, but delivery failures, limited channel options, or costly routes can cause delays, frustration, and in certain cases, financial losses. For businesses, these issues aren't just inefficient, they damage trust. There is now a better way to manage the chaos. Switch to a unified platform that ensures reliable, cost-effective notifications across all messaging channels, minimizing failures and maximizing satisfaction. X-Notify is the first enterprise-grade omni-channel notification platform specifically built for the unique needs of financial service providers. X-Notify connects and helps you manage all of your notification channels. Using our Right Route technology, the platform routes your messages intelligently using proprietary data signals. Stay assured that your messages aren't just delivered, but are received through the right channel your customer really wanted. With complete traceability across all channels, X-Notify provides the easiest path to maintaining 100% regulatory compliance with data residency locally. Upgrade your customer communication whilst reducing costs with X-Notify, built and delivered by the leading cloud communications company, eOcean. Connect with us and learn how X-Notify can streamline your customer messaging strategy.
Step into the world of Bank Alfala, where banking meets lifestyle convenience. You can now deposit cash in any denomination into any bank account in Pakistan from our 24/7 available cash deposit machines. Bank Alfala, the way forward. Step into the world of Bank Alfala, where banking meets lifestyle convenience. Need cash on the go 24/7? Highest limits of ATM cash withdrawal in Pakistan, up to rupees 1 million daily and rupees 200,000 in a single transaction from our ATMs. तो अभी सब्सक्राइब करें for extra security to our biometric service. बेहतरीन rates में. Bank Alfala, the way forward.
In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation, and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation, and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation, and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation, and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation, and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic digital bank. Rakmi, a bridge between eras, a link between the seen and unseen. An ode to unity, precision, innovation, and excellence. In the heart of time, ancient empires whispered secrets, leaving a legacy, a testament to the timeless symphony of geometry in the world of Islamic art. A timeless tale echoes across an era of precision, of unity, and of the pursuit of perfection. Like a jewel in history's tapestry, it traces the story of Islamic craft, its evolution, and its grandeur. Introducing Rakmi, as it journeys towards becoming a fully Sharia
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting our program again in next 5 minutes. Would request everyone to please settle down. Everyone, please settle down. We're going to start our proceedings in next 2 minutes. Everyone, I would request again to please settle down so that we can start our program. ये वाले लोग तो आ जाए, ये वाले लोग तो आ जाए। Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope the tea was good और कुछ एनर्जी आई होगी वापस आप लोगों की। एनर्जी आ गई है या नहीं? अगर आ गई है तो प्लीज़ ज़रा कुछ तालियां बजा के मुझे शोर दिखा दें। पीछे जो ऑडियंस बैठी है ख़ास तौर पे बिल्कुल ही इंगेज नहीं है हमारे साथ। आई डोंट नो क्या डिस्कशन चल रही है, बट आई एम श्योर कुछ भी अच्छी डिस्कशन होगी। सो वी हैव अनदर वेरी एक्साइटिंग पैनल फ्रॉम लेगेसी टू एजिलिटी, the future of financial services with open banking. I would request Mr. Shehzad Ishaq, Group Head Digital Banking and Chief Digital Officer MCB Bank. He will take the charge as the moderator and he will invite the panelist himself. Mr. Shehzad, please, the stage is yours, and would request if you can just wrap up in the time. Since we are a very on tight agenda.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm sure you are a little bit recharged after a tea break. If you're not, we are going to talk to you about something very exciting, which is open banking, how it's going to usher or unleash the future of finance. Before I'll just take an opportunity to invite our distinguished panelists. I'm absolutely privileged to invite them and to be standing next to them. So the first guest is CEO of Mashriq Pakistan. He is a visionary leader. He's somebody we all look up to, has served the financial services sector in Asia Pacific and Middle East and Pakistan, and is the top voices on digital and fintech in APAC, Asia Pacific. May I invite Mr. Humayun Sajjad to the stage, and please give him a rousing welcome, because he's going to be, I know he tells good stories, so Humayun, I expect you to actually be, please have a seat. Okay, our next guest is another veteran, 20 years in the industry, and he is the Chief Digital Officer of National Bank of Pakistan. Previously, he's worked at Bank Al-Falah, and he's also worked at Easy Paisa, holding senior product appointments. And he's somebody who actively is driving the digital finance forward. May I request Mr. Adnan Nasir to come to the stage and join us? So we just told that Adnan is not around, and he's likely to join, but he's still, as of now, he's not around. So my next guest is somebody I met in payments conference, digital payments in Singapore. And how we met each other was because we were both heading to Kinokuniya bookstore, and we took a walk together. And that's where I found out that he's a man of deep thoughts, and he's driving the digital finance forward. He has been at HBL, then running MasterCard in Pakistan, then at Jazz Cash, and most recently at Yogo Bank. He was a founding CEO, and recently the CEO of Yogo Bank. And I just discussed with him on how he's going to wire the world in the future, Mr. Atiyab Tahir. So Mr. Atiyab Tahir, may we request you to join us. I would also like to invite a friend who talks extensively about financial transactions, trust and security, how we will make them more secure to the future, how your customers are going to trust more for banks and financial institutions. He's the Managing Director of BPC Technologies, Banking Technologies, Pakistan. May I request Mr. Farooq Beg to join us on the stage. Like the master of the ceremony was saying, it would feel very good to have a high energy from you. By the way, in the next 30 minutes or so, we are going to talk something very interesting and exciting, and the objective would be for you to take away a lot from this discussion. I'd now like to invite the CEO of Rakami Islamic Digital Bank, Mr. Umair Aziz, who's been at the cutting edge of digital and who has been driving forward business in capital markets and in digital finance and fintech. So he's a veteran. You heard him earlier in the day. He's one of the panelists. Umair, please join us on stage. Okay. So thank you very much, all of you. I'll just stick it out here so that I can actually I can look at my cheat sheet, which I put together this morning. How many of you know that the percent of adult population who does not have a formal banking account is about 75% of the adult population in Pakistan? And earlier in the day, you also heard that the 40% of Pakistan's GDP is driven by small and medium enterprises, yet only 6 to 8% of them have access to finance. Now, what does this mean to us? What does it mean to open banking? And I heard a speaker earlier in the day extensively talking to you about open banking. So what is open banking? Now, open banking is exposing banking customer credentials, information, and transactions to third parties, service providers, fintechs, digital entities, and letting them offer under consent. The key word is consent. Customers ka consent hona chahiye. Or customers should know that they are giving their consent. Offering them relevant products and services. So how about somebody calling you that, look, we know that you gave your consent and you use your cell phone in a certain way. We've got a great offer for you, which is absolutely relevant to your lifestyle and life stage. And similarly, other financial services like insurance and others. So this is what open banking is about. How far are we in terms of embracing open banking? We'll just open the discussion. We'll just have a quick question from Humayun. We'll start with you. And we know that you actually have been driving these things forward and been really studying. So if I ask you, how prepared are typical Pakistani conventional banks, and with the advent of you as a digital bank, to embrace the concept that we call open banking?
क्यों मुझे बदनाम करते हैं यार ये बैंक्स का सवाल करके?
नहीं, ये सियासी सवाल नहीं है, गैर सियासी. ये फोरम भी गैर सियासी, सवाल भी गैर सियासी है.
Look, I think, can you guys hear me? I think banks think that they are ready for open banking.
Yeah.
But actually, they are not. The other side of the open banking are customers. And customers are definitely not ready to embrace open banking. The last time I heard about open banking in European regulators as well, Europe may, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, UK may 450 million pounds annually open banking की वजह से fraud हो रहा है. और open banking में दो चीज़ें हैं, एक तो push payments है और एक account access है. 50 million pounds का per annum account takeover का fraud है. और ये वो regulations हैं जो उन्होंने बड़ा सोच समझ के implement की. And now they are ring fencing all of this. If you guys recall, जब बैंक में 10 लाख रुपए से ज़्यादा का चेक होता था, वो कॉल करके पूछते थे, कॉल बैक. आज भी मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली करता है. ये ओपन बैंकिंग में जब 10 लाख रुपए से ज़्यादा की आप ट्रांजैक्शन करेंगे, तो कोई कॉल आएगी, कोई एक्चुअली पूछेगा आपको, और आर यू गोइंग टू रिलाई ऑन OTP एंड सेइंग कि जी हमने कोई मोबाइल डिवाइस बाइंडिंग बेस्ड ऑथेंटिकेशन कर दिया, और कस्टमर को कह देंगे कि जी आपकी गलती से ये फ्रॉड हुआ. बट एनीवेज, there are nuances that I think
these are important points you've made somewhere. So Atyab, let's come to you. We've been dialoguing since yesterday, since you have this very augmented combination of working for telecom, telcos, then Jazz Cash and other entities, and you also have worked for the payments industry, the digital payments, and driving a digital bank most recently. Please tell us how can wallets and telcos and wallets play a role in any case if we decide to proceed with open banking? What role would they play in sort of giving the necessary impetus to development of open banking?
So I think in many ways what Pakistan has achieved is nothing short of extraordinary, right? We have a large population. And most of the population today, they may not have bank accounts, but they have wallets. If you go down the street and ask maybe 100 people, 90 of them would say that they either have a Jazz Cash or an Easy Pesa or some sort of a wallet, right? And they would accept payments in that. Now, the most important thing any telco can do is reach and ubiquity, which I think we are on the precipice of achieving in Pakistan.
There are 40 million wallets, open wallets.
Actually, there are 95 million wallets.
95 million.
Right?
Okay. Thank you.
For an adult population of 130 million, there are 95 million wallets. Most of them are inactive, but at some point in time, somebody made the effort to link their phone number or their SIM to a store of value, which was the wallet. Now, how do we use it is a different story. Why don't most people use the wallet beyond a top-up? Or why don't they use it beyond P2P transfer or now utility payment?